Day trading is one of those things where there's significant peaks and significant valleys all the way up to success. This is something to keep in mind and something that turns a lot of people away. Hey everyone, welcome to the Anarchy Podcast. 99% of traders will never make consistent profits. So why listen to the 99% of advice? On this show, we're going to challenge some of the most hallowed and repeated tenets of trading, and in doing so, set you up to succeed where others fail. Spoiler alert, we don't have a secret strategy or magic wand that will let you skip out on the hard work of learning the markets, but we can debunk viewpoints that are holding you back. If that sounds good to you, come join us. Go back 1 year in your trading journey. What would you tell yourself that you've learned? What would be the most useful bit of advice that you could go back and tell yourself in your trading journey? We had some thoughts, and Jordan, I know you have a few, so I'll throw it to you. But yeah, what would you do if you could go back in your trading journey? What would you tell yourself? What's that biggest kind of juiciest bit of advice if you could go back 1 year in your life?
Yeah, if I could go back 1 year, even 2 years, my biggest advice to my previous self would be don't be impatient. I am
Hmm.
a impatient guy. And when I first started trading, I'm like, well, within a year, I'm going to be profitable. And then I changed it to within 2 years, I'm going to be profitable. And what I would want to tell myself is, listen, dude, stop trying to put time frames on success because time frames on success don't exist. If you look at all of the super successful people in the world, a lot of them did not become successful overnight. A few did. But even if you're
Yeah.
looking at Steve Jobs, you're looking at Bill Gates. These are guys, you look at Jeff Bezos. These are guys who started in their basements. These are guys who started with little things, you know, tweak stuff, played with stuff, tried implementing stuff, failed, got back up. And so my biggest advice would be, as I said, don't put a time frame on success because I feel like, as we already know, trading under pressure does not work. And whenever you put a time frame on your success or a time frame in which you need to be successful, that is putting stress, whether you feel it or not, it's putting stress on you. And that is going to affect your trading in the short term and probably honestly in the long term.
Yeah, this was actually top of my list as well. The fact is, you far overestimate what you can do in the short term, but underestimate what you can do in the long term. And I think I know for myself, and I know everybody does this, is people underestimate just consistency over a long time. Like the fact is, if you want to work out and get big, going to the gym once does nothing. Going to the gym a month does nothing. Um, you have to to the gym for years. But the actual amount of work you have to do, it's actually pretty simple. Like I work out. I'm not some huge guy, but I'm an athletic build. I'm reasonably happy where I am. I could get bigger, but the fact is, like, I go to the gym 3 times a week, work out for 45 minutes. Like that's like one movie per week. Like that's about the amount of time I spend. It's not a lot, but if you do that for years, eventually you wake up and you're like, oh, like I've made it. And yeah, I was the same way with trading, kind of seeing trading, and we fell victim to the whole, hey, it's a technique issue. If you just learn the right technique, you'll be successful. So therefore, hey, we just need to learn the technique. Give us a year. We got this. And it's like, oh, well, we're not quite there. Well, how about one more year? And then one more, like it takes time. It takes just consistency, and not just time, consistency, right? Just doing a bit of trading every day for the foreseeable future. And so that's what I tell now people now, and I wish I could have told myself back then, but anytime anybody asks is like how long should I go into day trading? How long will it take me? Well, uh just do it and then do it forever. Like when you tell, this is why, by the way, diets don't work, because you have to, it's not enough to just do something. You have to do something that you can then do forever. Diets don't work because you can't starve yourself forever, right? So you have to eat. If you're going to try to get healthy, you need to start eating healthy and then eat that way for the rest of your life. And if you can't see yourself eating that way for the rest of your life, you're not going to succeed. So if you're trying to day trade, this is the parallel I would draw. Day trade in a way that you can trade for the rest of your life. Right? 20 years down the line, you could be trading this exact same way. Is that an hour a day? Can you sit in front of your chart for an hour a day for the rest of your life? If you can't, you know, that's the consistency issue, right? If so, try to be really consistent and be patient. That was a huge one for me. I appreciate it. That one is a huge one. And I think a lot of people, most people fail, not because they're too stupid, not because of something, they quit because they give up. They can't stick around. They're not consistent.
Yeah, it's so true. And I really like what you say there that everyone always underestimates what they can accomplish in the long term. Like
Yeah.
think about the Great Wall of China
Yeah.
or the Great Pyramids, unless they use levitation and sound thing to move them. Anyways,
It
don't
was
get me
alien.
started.
It was aliens, bro.
I've been watching too much Joe Rogan.
It was the sonic sound waves, dude.
Well, honestly, how else would they have moved them?
Slaves, a lot of people.
You
You can
can't
do a
move
lot of things.
Bill.
Well, here's the deal.
Okay,
This
okay,
this
that's fair
talks to
enough. I
our
like
this
that.
talks to our point, Jordan. Don't try to undermine our point here. A bunch of time and a bunch of man hours, you can do some crazy impressive things,
It's
man.
true.
You don't
It's true.
necessarily need aliens if you just have enough time. And
Yeah.
that's actually something that we've lost, humanity has lost recently, I think, which is like back in the day, you go see some amazing cathedrals in Europe. I was just out in Spain and saw some amazing stuff. Well, they've been building these things since literally the 1600s. Like they're still building them. It's been 400 years and they still are building these churches. And you're like, how did they build that? Time, lots of it. And you can do the same thing with your trading.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, that was the big one for me. I mean, the other thing that I think I would go back if I had to like tell myself and give myself some advice would also be to just stop worrying about day trading, right? So day traders,
Mhm.
we are a paranoid obsessive a lot, which let's be honest, it makes us do what we do. If we weren't obsessive, if we weren't somewhat OCD, if we weren't just like obsessive, I don't think we would be doing what we're doing because honestly, normal people, they try day trading and they very quickly leave, right? The people who stick around for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, those are the guys that, let's be honest, we're on the spectrum a little bit. I say that jokingly, but I mean, actually, in all serious, I actually think a lot of day traders are to a certain extent because it takes a certain type of person with a certain mentality and um, and outlook upon look and patterns and stuff in order to be able to be successful in what we do. And that takes a very special, unique brain that not everyone has. So I would be telling myself to maybe obsess a little bit less. Like it's okay to not make it your whole, don't make day trading your whole life. Don't let your emotions dictate the rest of your life, right? So day trading can be very emotional and it would absolutely, in times past, if I had a bad trading day, it would make me an ornery, nasty person for the rest of the day because I'd had a bad day trading. And it's
Yeah.
honestly only been probably the last 3 months where I have been actually able to essentially, I use this loosely and don't want to hold myself up to a pedestal, but the last 3 months I've been able to literally just trade and not feel emotions about my trades, which is what we're aiming for.
Mm.
But it's like, yeah, stop. Don't get so emotional about this, guys. It's literally just blips on a screen.
Yeah, I like that. Especially when you're learning, it's a small part of your life. Like maybe one day when you're making all your money from it, and that's something more important. But especially when you're learning, that's a really good bit of advice. I think my final thing that I would tell myself is that the road to success, and this is true for pretty much everything, but day trading especially, the road to day trading success is full of ups and downs. So there are things where success is much more smooth. So working out is a good example. There's not going to be days when all of a sudden you're, you've lost all your muscle. Like if you build the muscle, it typically stays, and as long as you're reasonably consistent, your muscle should build and build and build. The same thing for losing weight. Yeah, there's going to be some slight ups and downs with water weight and stuff. But if you're trying to lose 100 pounds, if you're obese, you're trying to lose 100 pounds. If you just go into 500, calorie deficit per day, you'll lose about a pound a week for most people. And you just kind of slowly work your way down. Day trading is one of those things where there's significant peaks and significant valleys all the way up to success. So, this is something to keep in mind and something that turns a lot of people away where they'll start seeing some success and they'll have some massive valley where they're losing all the time. And they think that they've lost it. They think they try to change up their strategies, they rethink everything, and they're constantly going back to the drawing board because it is discouraging. I mean, again, it's like trying to lose weight and you're down 50 pounds, and then one day you wake up and you're 100 pounds again. Well, yeah, you'd want to go back to the drawing board. You'd be like, what the hell is going on? Like, you'd be trying to fix everything. The fact is, day trading is very up and down, so don't get discouraged. You're going to have peaks where you're really good, and then you're going to have valleys where you're really bad. Oftentimes that's because of you, because it's a very gray psychology-based game, but it's also because of the market, and you're going to see different market looks that you're not used to, and there's going to be very significant down periods, and that's okay. Stay strong through it. Keep that consistency, like you were talking about, Jordan. Literally just today, I heard a great quote from Jimmy Carr, the British comedian. I'm going to kind of slaughter it, but it's something, I'll paraphrase it, that people are always jealous of where you are. Nobody's jealous about how you got there. And like you were talking about Jeff Bezos and Steve Jobs, and like the fact is, people are jealous of Bill Gates' money, Elon Musk's money, Bezos' money. Ain't nobody jealous about what they did to get there. They're all obsessive to the point of not actually having human lives anymore. I mean, that's the point. Like, you would never want to be Bezos, ever. You might want his money. You ain't want to be Bezos. So everybody is going to be jealous of you when you're successful at day trading. Nobody's going to be jealous of what you did to get there and the slog you push through. And it's going to be a slog sometimes. So be prepared. Be prepared for the peaks. Enjoy them when you get them. And then just recognize that the valleys are going to come. Hopefully, every time you have a peak and a valley, you have higher highs and higher lows. Every valley, hopefully, is a little bit higher than the last valley. And just like the market, you can work your way up to success.